Well, to those who've been following my channel, welcome back. Another episode of working on my C-cab. For anybody new that just started watching or just come across the videos now, I think this one here will be number 24. So you can go to my homepage on YouTube and go back to the beginning where we started. But for today, I'm going to finish up what I left off with last week, the gas tank. I took a trip over to Wilkes Metal this morning. I got one piece here I'm getting ready to cut. I got another one sitting over there in the truck. We're going to cut the angle iron to go from here to here, clamp it on there, get that welded in. Then I got to get the one welded in on the other side. I'm going to take the tank out. We'll fully weld it. And then I'll put the tank back in. And I went and bought some 1/4-inch self-tapping hex bolts to put in here. So we'll drill that and get that mounted here pretty soon. Also, while I was picking up bolts, I know last week I didn't finish the dashboard because I didn't have the bolts. I wanted to use panhead slotted or Phillips panhead bolts. I thought would look a little nicer than hex bolts, but all they had at the bolt place was 1/4 28 fine thread hex bolts. So anyway, it's in. It came out good. I might change the bolts later on. We'll just have to wait and see about that. And also yesterday, the battery box came in. I bought it online. It was a hell of a lot cheaper for me to buy it than try to make one. So I got to find a place to get that mounted sometime this week. Well, let me get started. We'll start cutting the steel and finish up on this gas tank. Well, I finally got it welded. I also went and decided to put in some gussets right here because this side is 2 inches higher than this side. So here I could weld both sides against here and here. This I can only weld it flat. So I decided to put a gusset here. And then you can see over there, I went and welded another one in. Well, next thing I'm gonna do is we'll set the tank in there and let's see if we can get the bolt holes in. I'm not gonna put any weather stripping or silicone down to set it in right now until we go mount the tank permanently. Right now I just wanna get the holes drilled and tapped. Well, it turned out pretty good. I was a little bit worried that my screw gun, I didn't have a 3/8 drive attachment for the screw gun. So I was a little worried that the drill wouldn't hold it, but it seemed to work really good. Well, the next thing I got to do is find a place to mount the battery box. I got one here that I bought, and I was thinking about mounting it up against the frame, like right in here, like this. But I got to make sure, the problem I got with that is the sheet metal here is going to hang down even with this right here. The bottom, and I'm going to have it bent under with a lip. So there's going to be about 5 or 6 inches of sheet metal coming down to here. So you'd see a little of the battery box, but the problem is being able to remove the battery in case I had to replace it. I mean, I could always take the body off and replace it, but I don't want to have to take the body off just to change the battery. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to pull the floor up. It's just sitting there right now. Let me clean everything off. And I want to see if there's room in the center between the frame rail and the transmission where I can mount it there, since this panel is going to be removable anyway. Well, we're running out of room. Luckily, this is as far as I know, the last piece I got to mount that could interfere with something. I didn't have enough room to mount it out here where I wanted to because the sheet metal from the body's coming down to here and I won't be able to get the battery out. So I looked under here, under the floor panel. You see where I got it now? I'm real close to the transmission mount right here. And if you look down through there, I'm real close to the radius rod mount, but I can get to both of them. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking a piece of angle iron like this, and welding it like this up against the frame right here on the bottom of the frame, and then bolting the battery box to this, two half-inch bolts, and then one on that side will be facing this way on the back, and then welding it up against the bottom. I got to make one a little longer than the other because the frame has got a taper to it. And you can see there I got my level on the battery box right now. I'm level, so I can measure the pieces of angle for the front angle and the back angle. I'll drill the holes, everything, bolt it up, clamp it the same way I got it, and then get underneath and tack weld it onto the frame. Then I got an old battery over here. Before I go welding the whole thing on there, I'll see if I can get make sure I can get the battery in and out. Now I know I can remove the body and get the battery out, but I don't want to have to remove the body just to get the battery out. Worst case scenario, I could put a jack under it, take out these 4 half-inch bolts, and just drop the battery straight down, down the bottom. Take it out that way. Well, let me get measuring. I'll cut these 2 pieces of angle, and we'll get started on this. Well, while I had the battery bracket clamped up to the frame, I went ahead and vice gripped these angle irons onto here so I could mark the holes. I'm going to put 2 half-inch bolts, one at the top and one at the bottom. I already got this side drilled, and then you can see under here, this here's end will get welded up to the bottom of the frame. Let me get this side drilled and we'll see if we can get it back on there. Well, it took a little engineering, but I got it mounted. Well, actually clamped. It's not welded yet. I'm getting ready to weld it. You can see there I got it, my level. I got the bungee cord holding it up against the bottom of the frame rails, and then I got it clamped to the frame rails. Now the trick is to get under here and see if I can get a couple tack welds on here without tacking the battery box to the brackets. Well, I had a good day. I had a battery, an old one, laying here, and it's a full size. It's a huge battery, and it fit in there. You can see it's tight, but I'm able to get it in through this opening just by removing the floor. So I'm going to actually get a lot smaller battery than that because I don't need that big a battery. It'll work out nice in this location too because the starter's right here. So I only need about 2.5 feet of wire, 3 feet at the most, to get from the starter to the battery. And from down here, you can hardly see it. I mean, it's hanging down a little bit, but I think with the sheet metal hanging down another 5 inches on the side, it'll block even more of it, and it'll look a little better. Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to start on next. I might do the bracing across the top for the flooring. And another thing I want to do is add 2 more braces across the top. I want to divide the roof piece here into 3 sections. So I got the steel to do it, to put 2 more. I might do that next week, and maybe we'll finish the floor. But if not, next week or the week after, I'm going to disassemble the whole thing and completely weld everything on the frame that needs to be welded, get it painted, start on assembling the front axle. I need to rebuild this rear end. It needs seals, a pinion seal, and it needs new brakes and everything else, wheel cylinders. So I'm going to tear it apart, and we'll be working on that here shortly. Well, again, I want to keep it a little short. I appreciate everybody for watching, and I appreciate all the comments and suggestions. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you in the next episode.